Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Banterly. My name is Suha.
And my name is Aidan, and welcome back, everybody. This week, we're going to be shifting the normal tone of the episodes, and we're going to be taking some time to reflect on what we're thinking and feeling in the days after the election.
In case you've heard of it, there was an election.
Yes, pretty big one.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. I mean, the best that I can be. You know, it's been interesting. I was in New York for the 2020 election when Joe Biden won.
The people of this nation have spoken. They've delivered us a clear victory, a convincing victory, a victory for we the people.
And that was just, I think I mentioned it in an episode, like the Veep one, like it was just so magical and amazing. And then different vibe right now, I will say.
You know, he sent the rocket up 2 weeks ago, and I saw that rocket, and I saw it coming down. I saw it. It was, when it left, it was beautiful, shiny white. When it came down, it didn't look so pretty. It was going 10,000 miles an hour, and it was burning like hell. I said, what happened to your paint job? He said, we've never made a paint that could withstand.
You know, when I woke up, I went to my friend's apartment on Tuesday night, and we were like drinking wine and watching the NBC coverage. I kind of thought that we weren't going to know for a few days because of all the mail-in ballots. But then I woke up at 7 a.m. on Wednesday morning with a feeling. And, you know, like I just laid in bed for a little bit and I was like, it just felt quiet. I checked my phone. The first thing I saw is like the New York Times being like Trump sweeped. I was like, whoa, not only did he win, but he like won.
I don't think I was surprised by the outcome, but I was like very shocked at the level at which and the clarity in which Trump won. We should mention that we're recording this 2 days after the election. So I know you said you woke up to the news. What was your day like after that?
Actually, I've had a sore throat. I was up at 7:30, so I decided to go to urgent care to see if it was strep. So doing that strep, this is so random, but I hate the strep test. I've hated it since I was little, and I was like, this is just like the most horrible morning ever.
Oh no.
I don't have strep. My throat is like basically better, so I just wasted $50 of a copay at the City MD. But anyways, then I just came home and I worked. My dad texted me. He actually texted my brother and I this like screenshot of I don't really know what it is. It looks like I can read it real quick. A Black podcaster summed it up. It's a masterclass in white privilege. He can't say enough racist things to be a racist. He can't commit enough crimes to be a criminal. He can't fail enough times to be a failure. And he can't say enough stupid things to be stupid. The idea of him overshadows any reality. The Christian savior who doesn't know the Bible. The adulterer who blanks porn stars and steals from charities. It's the promise of the protection of whiteness he represents.
That's a shift in tone.
My other friend, her mentor had sent her take care of yourself chart and told her to take care of herself radically, and then shared that with us and just have a self-care day. So that's what I did. At the end of the day, I walked to my old roommate's apartment, picked up some pastries. She bought a bottle of wine, and we watched the Wizards of Waverly Place reboot and The English Teacher and the new Agatha show. The energy felt different, but I mean, there's no point in sitting in your room and moping. You got to just continue life. You got to just keep chugging. How about you?
I had class at 10 a.m., which was quite unforgiving. And so it was a little strange for sure in that like the train just felt so silent, which I wasn't so used to, and just generally very tense. And to go back to the Jordan Peele episode, but it almost felt like the underworld and us, almost, where people were like going through their daily motions, but because they had to and not necessarily because like they were eager to that day. It almost felt, no pun intended, like the elephant in the room that genuinely no one wanted to talk about, and so they didn't. It kind of just ended up being business as usual, like people would talk about it a little. But then I just had to like go to work, got coffee with some friends on the way, and then just like posted up in my office for about 6 hours. And then my international friends were very eager to witness their first American election. Were similarly left disappointed, but to like aid all of us sad Americans, forced us to a karaoke night in the East Village. And, you know, that was like also a welcome distraction. I think that was it, right? Like there's only so much thinking and pondering and analyzing you can do before like you kind of just have to accept the new reality. And so I agree very much that it's hard to just like sit around and mope, despite the fact that we very much want to.
Look at all that red, all of those blue collar areas. Look at all that red.
I've seen a lot of discourse, and I'd love to hear your take on it, like, especially since where we both went to high school and stuff. But there's been a lot of TikToks and like social media about like disengaging with people on the right and like friends, family, folks, whatever. I was on the impression that we all already did that, to be honest. So I was like, didn't we do that the first time around? And be it as it may, like good or bad, I kind of already find myself surrounded by similarly minded people. I think it's the nature of like the program I'm in at NYU, being in New York to begin with. I don't know. I think it's hard to be in community with people who may hold opinions that don't align with like my existence as a person.
I've seen a lot of things that are like, oh, like, since when did we judge people based on their political views? And I have no problems with like Republicans in general. Like, it's just this person and the people that support him that is just so insane to me, that especially after seeing so many TikToks for the past 5-6 years and videos of people interviewing Trump supporters and they don't even know what they're talking about.
Maybe this disqualifies him for president.
Not for me. I'm with him to the finish. He could stand on the front steps of the White House and commit murder, and I'm with him.
Explain that to me. That's amazing. I mean,
Look, he's the only man we've ever had in my lifetime that stood for America as president. Now, I was a George Herbert Walker Bush man and all that, but they don't anybody compare to Donald Trump. He loves this country, and that's why I love him.
They have no really real grounded reasons for liking him. It just baffles me. Because this didn't happen when it was Romney versus Obama, or like it wasn't this polarized and it wasn't as tense, but Trump made it tense. And I feel like, yeah, like, no, if you're going to support someone that wants to take away, you know, all these rights from people, like if you infringe upon my rights, then yeah, I'm going to be like, I'm not going to be happy about that. But it feels different.
I respect your ability to respect that side, I suppose, because I think I just don't have it in me anymore. I think Trump's shift in the Republican Party has like no one's respectful about it anymore. At least the old school Republicans like could conceal their racism a little bit better.
And could say, yes, we lost. Like Mitt Romney was like, yeah, congratulations. It's like, when did we lose our decorum in DC? Like, what happened? What happened to that? What happened to hello, my name is, how are you?
The left doesn't do it too. Like, I liked when Tim Walz was calling everyone a freak and a weirdo. We should have done more of that. Because I think it's true. That's how most of us think.
Just an observation of mine. Just an you know it, you feel it. These guys are creedy, and yeah, it's just weird as hell. Weird as hell. That's what you see. That's what you see.
It's interesting to see compared to the 2016 election. Speaking out about social topics is so much more prevalent now than it was, like, especially in my opinion, like after George Floyd. And I feel like people are using their Instagrams and their TikToks so much more to spread educational information with the war in Gaza and things about Palestine. And you learn a lot from them, and it's great. And I'm not going to shame anybody who does it, but I'm going to shame the people who shame the people for not posting, because I think it's a choice. I don't think it's a requirement. And I've seen so many posts in 2020 during June after George Floyd was killed, where it was people were saying like, if you don't post on your story about this, like I will unfollow you. I'm like, what? Like, since when is it a requirement to speak about your political and social beliefs? Like, just because you don't post about something doesn't mean you believe it. And now I'm seeing people post like, oh, wow, you're posting about the election now. Like, where were your posts about Gaza and Palestine? Like, where have they been for the past year? Like, you do you, boo. Like, you post and it's great, but also don't shame somebody for, it's a choice. It's not a requirement. People can do with their Instagrams what they want.
I think it's fair. I know a lot of people don't necessarily value intent, but I think it's such a critical part of like why we do what we do. I personally do use my social media for political reasons, but that's because my career is built on like political journalism. It's like a way for me to like allow my opinions to be shared. And like I've kind of adopted a career in which I want to help be educational if I can be on topics that I'm aware of. Not everyone has, and no offense, not everyone should be, because some of us don't have that education. We don't have that interest. We don't have that analysis. So like I don't want to see a black square on your story if you don't know the value of it, if you know it's not going to reach your audience and it's just going to like sit there to like build your social capital. So I totally agree. I think like the shaming of it is very strange when I think that just because we all have social media accounts doesn't mean they should all be used in the same way, nor should we be given platforms in the same way.
Like, I'm sure those people who are shaming people for not posting would prefer that they would, like you said, post with meaning, that they understand what they're posting about, because there's so much like performative stuff happening. And it's like, do what's true to you. I don't see why we are policing people about how to educate people and how to serve your community the best. Like, we're all just trying to. We're all just trying to survive here. Like, why are we making it worse?
But for me, a big thing that I'm scared of is like what matters anymore in terms of like the facts that we're consuming. Because if we already all live on different planes of existence, what's truth, what's false, and can we manipulate the truth to fit our own little reality? And if so, then how are we ever going to get anything done? And I think social media is a big part of that. And so, like, I don't know, I think the social pressure on being politically active online is very strange, especially if it doesn't manifest into real life action in any ways. Like, if you're not on the streets, if you're not voting, then I don't want to see you post, get out to the polls. Like, I don't understand that. I don't know. My politics are generally like, if it doesn't hurt you, it doesn't hurt other people, and it doesn't hurt me, I don't give a fuck what you do. And I think that's generally like, if it doesn't hurt you and it doesn't concern you to begin with, why the hell do you care? Can I ask what you're afraid of? Like, are there specific issues you know you're gonna keep your eyes like very peeled on?
Oh, yes. I will admit this, that this election shocked me for many reasons, obviously, but it also shocked me and it showed me how much of a bubble I live in, because it is crazy to me that Electoral College and the popular vote by such a wide margin,
Mhm.
that he got that many votes, when I'm in my head thinking, there's no way, after the debate, after what he's said for the past almost 10 years, I'm like, there's no way that people could do this again. And no, I was just being naive little Aidan. But now I know I've been in a bubble, and I knew I was in a bubble, but damn, I didn't realize it was this much of a bubble.
I think the idea of a bubble, though, I kind of hate when people are like, oh my God, you need to expand outside of your bubble. But like for people like us who are members of multiple minority groups, we don't get that privilege. We don't get to like sit across from someone and just engage in natural political debate as though the opposite person's opinion may not threaten the very existence on which like we rely. And I think that's like an unfair expectation. So I think personally right now, very pro bubble. Keep your community, keep who you know you adore and love and will uplift you, because we know now that the rest of the country may not align that way. And it's disappointing, but keep your bubble. I'm pro it right now.
Keep your
Echo
bubble.
chambers are a fucking good thing right now. I don't care.
Low-key, lean on it. And again, I'm also not one to be very political on Instagram. I have been in the past if I really like feel strongly about something, but I try to lead with humor and just try to be fun and silly on my social media accounts. But I did post two things on election day. One, the Missouri ban on abortion was overturned.
That's so
So
good.
that's good. That's good. I was like, yes, yes,
What
Missouri.
a win. That's a great win.
And then two was this video of Jon Stewart from The Daily Show yesterday. And it really put things into perspective for me, because there's a lot of lingo going around right now that we're done, this country's over. It's in some ways fear mongering, especially on TikTok. I had to limit my TikTok use yesterday because people just love to spew BS and get people scared. And like, anyways, he was saying that this is not the outcome that many would have hoped, but we really don't know what's going to happen. And he used prior examples.
And I just want to point out, just as a matter of perspective, that the lessons that our pundits take away from these results, that they will pronounce with certainty, will be wrong. In 2008, when Barack Obama won,
there's no question that this is the beginning, the first election of the future, really. And I think we are moving towards a post-racial America.
Yeah, that lasted a day. And then, of course, in 2012, Obama won again. And the lesson was,
the GOP needs to send a powerful signal to Hispanic voters that the party respects them.
that was the lesson they learned after that victory. And they were certain of it.
So all these things that people are saying, people made it seem like these statements were true. They were like, we're only up from here. We're no more racism in America. We have a black president, or this has to happen or else this won't happen. But then it turned untrue. And now people are saying, oh, this is the end. Like, this will never be the same. And that may be true, but we also really don't know, because Trump does a lot of talk. And I don't know how much walk he's actually done, but people just need to remember that we don't actually know what's going to happen, and to breathe.
There is like a series of fear mongering that's just like hurting us all. I'm pro wallowing for a moment. I'm pro sitting in your sadness. I think like that's something we need to feel, but I don't think that needs to extend into like a fear mongering spiraling hole of darkness and of like fear. And because then we have to come out of it. Like, Trump's going to be president for 4 years. We have to work around that. Like, we just have to. We're all going to wake up each day. We have to just keep going. And that's the nature of it. And like my friend actually mentioned about this term that a lot of like Palestinians have specifically coined around the idea of like Pesa optimism, where it's a reckoning with the world in which we live and understanding that like circumstances are not good. The general like material well-being of most of us is not good, but we wake up each day. That itself is an act of being willing to keep going and to like invest in our communities and like, I don't know, hold the hope that there is still like a potential for better. And I think like we need to, because if we don't believe in that kind of thing, then like, what are we all doing? Like, are we just waiting to die at that point?
All I can say is one thing that I've like, to go back to what you were saying, like, lean on your community. I know that most of my friends throughout my entire life have been girls. And so that's why, reproductive rights is a big thing for me, because they've touched my life the most. And everyone who's listening, support your female friends, support your your POC friends and your LGBTQ friends, particularly those young trans people.
Is there anything specific you'll take into consideration for self-care in these next few weeks, months, 4 years?
Oh, gosh. I mean, I think I really, and I say this a lot, but I think I really need to do it now. And I've started with my limiting TikTok, but I do, like you said, I need to get off my phone. I need to actually limit my apps and not just say continue for another 15 minutes and then, ignore for the rest of the day. Like I always do that when I limit my apps. But I need to, because right now it's doing me a lot more worse than it is doing me pleasure. And it's great for entertainment, but there's just so many things that are making me stressed that I don't need to be. And, leaning on friends, this is going to be I'm excited for the next month. This is some of my favorite times of the year. I love going home for Thanksgiving. I have like a 5-year high school reunion I'm excited about. My birthday's next month, holiday season. Work will be chill. I'm going to Chicago tomorrow. Woohoo. I'm so excited.
I love Chicago.
I've only been twice, and the last time was 2017. So it's been, Trump was president for the first time. So I'm excited to just have fun with my friends and my family for the next 2 months and enjoy, the last couple months of. I'm going to miss the Kamala Harris HQ on TikTok. They're
Oh,
so funny.
yeah,
Anyways,
it's like weird to listen to Brat now, I suppose. Like, damn.
No. How about you? What have you been doing for self-care, and what are you looking forward to in the coming months?
I got into journalism and writing because it's such a like therapeutic thing for me. So I really just want to start writing more for myself because it's like what I do for work. I've also convinced myself that everything I write needs to be commodified somehow, but I think that's harming me in a lot of ways. So I'm gonna force myself to start journaling and just like doing more diary entries or something so that it's just like a personal thing. But yeah, I think like being around friends. My college basketball team is coming to play at MSG in a few weeks. I'm taking all my international student friends to their first ever like American college event, and I'm very excited. Going home in December, I'll get to be home for like a month, go on a trip with my family, and like see my best friend who I haven't seen in 6 months because she lives out in Phoenix. And just kind of, yeah, like, I don't know. The sadness of this all has been that like suddenly the communities I once had have all kind of come back again. Like I've been talking to people in New Mexico that I've not had the chance to reach out to in a while. And like we're all just like chatting now. Or same with Minnesota. But yeah, I think we kind of have to look forward to what's in our immediate purview, again, around our communities to kind of motivate us to keep that PESA optimism that I think we all kind of need right now.
Yes. So true. So true. Think of, yeah, treat yourself. Treat yourself these next few months. Really like get that $8 coffee, get that croissant.
I bought a disgusting slice of cake last night. Like it looked like a chantilly cake, but then the frosting tasted like shaving cream. So that was a little disappointing, but it was the thought that counted, you know, it was like the idea of treating myself.
The thoughts there, the thoughts there. Just keep on trying. Try a different flavor next time, you know?
Yeah, we recognize that it's a strange week that'll lead to what's certain to be a strange few months, few years.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for listening to this episode. I know it was a little bit different than our past ones, but just thank you for giving us the space to talk about this. And I hope you can have conversations with your loved ones and friends and treat yourself, you know? I feel like I've gotten a lot of thoughts out. It was kind of therapeutic.
I think so. I haven't like really thought about like my personals. I've just been doing the policy analysis of it all. So like it's kind of nice to just reflect. Banterly is produced by Shay Yu, written by us, the co-hosts, Suha, Musa, and Aidan Taylor. The executive producer and editorial review is done by Sadia Khan.
Our sound designer and editor is Lou Raskin. The Banterly theme music is by Simon Hutchinson. Additional music is by Epidemic Sound.
See y'all next week.